Do you know why some of the kindest and most honest people in the world often end up the loneliest, most exhausted, and most overlooked at the end of their lives? They never wished harm upon anyone. They helped everyone. They sacrificed their own happiness time and time again. But what did they receive in return? They were used, ignored, and eventually left with nothing but regret. Now, take a moment to think about your own life. Has someone ever kept asking for your help over and over again? Have you ever put someone else's needs before your own? And when you finally needed them, did they simply make an excuse and leave you alone? If that has happened to you, the problem wasn't your fate. The problem was that you practiced kindness without wisdom. Nearly 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli revealed a truth about human nature that remains just as relevant today. He argued that the world doesn't respect kind people alone. It respects people who are wise. If you are always gentle, always say yes, and always put everyone else before yourself, people may admire you less than they take advantage of you. In today's video, we'll explore why simply being a good person is not enough, why excessive kindness can sometimes become your greatest weakness, and how you can remain kind while also becoming strong, respected, and influential. By the end of this video, you'll realize that true power doesn't come from becoming cruel. It comes from making the right decision at the right time. So, let's begin. Point number 1. Being too nice can make you look weak. Imagine a man named Michael. He works at a large company in Chicago. Everyone in the office likes him. Why? Because Michael never says no. A coworker misses a deadline? Michael stays late to finish the work. Someone wants to leave early? Michael covers their shift. A teammate forgets an important presentation? Michael steps in and saves the day. People constantly tell him, "Michael, you're amazing. We can always count on you. You're the nicest guy in the office." Hearing those words makes Michael feel proud. He believes that if he keeps helping everyone, people will eventually reward his kindness. Months go by. Michael works harder than anyone else. He sacrifices weekends. He skips vacations. He puts everyone else's needs before his own. Then one day, the company announces a promotion. Michael is confident. He believes this is finally his moment. After everything he's done, surely he deserves it. But when the manager announces the decision, the promotion goes to someone else, a coworker named David. David isn't rude. He isn't selfish, but he has something Michael never had: boundaries. David doesn't say yes to everything. He protects his time. When he can't help, he politely says, "I'm sorry, I can't take that on right now." He focuses on the work that actually moves his career forward. Michael is shocked. He keeps asking himself, "What did I do wrong?" The answer is uncomfortable. People often respect those who respect themselves first. Human psychology works in a strange way. When something is always available, people slowly stop valuing it. Think about electricity. Most of us never appreciate it until the power suddenly goes out. The same thing happens with people. If you're available every minute of every day, your time begins to feel ordinary. Your kindness becomes expected instead of appreciated. This doesn't mean you should stop being kind. It means your kindness needs limits. Niccolo Machiavelli explained this idea centuries ago using two powerful symbols. He said a ruler must learn from both, the lion and the fox. The lion has strength, but strength alone can't see every trap. The fox is clever. It can recognize danger before it arrives, but cleverness alone can't scare away wolves. Real strength comes from knowing when to be the lion and when to be the fox. If you're only kind, some people will mistake kindness for weakness. If you're only tough, people may fear you but never trust you. The goal isn't to become cold. The goal is to become wise. Help people because you choose to, not because you feel guilty. Be generous, but protect your time. Be kind, but don't let kindness cost you your self-respect. Because the moment you stop valuing your own time, the world usually stops valuing it too. Point number 2, the generosity trap. Now let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed the first time you help someone, they act incredibly grateful, they thank you, they appreciate you. Sometimes they even call you their hero. But something strange happens over time. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She has a close friend named Emily. One afternoon, Emily asks for a small favor. "Can you pick up my son from school? I'm running late." Sarah smiles. "Of course." A few days later, Emily needs another favor. Sarah says yes again, then another, and another. Soon, Sarah is driving Emily's son to soccer practice, helping with groceries, watching her dog on weekends, covering responsibilities that were never hers to begin with. At first, Emily thanked her every single time, but after a few months, the thank yous disappeared. The favors became expected. One Friday evening, Sarah finally has plans with her family. Emily calls again. I need you to pick up my son. For the first time, Sarah politely says, I'm really sorry, I can't today. There's a long silence. Then Emily responds, I guess I can't count on you anymore. Think about that for a second. Sarah said yes dozens of times, but one no erased all those memories. Why does this happen? Because the human brain adapts incredibly fast. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. When we receive the same benefit over and over again, it stops feeling special. It starts feeling normal. Then, normal quietly turns into expectation, and expectation eventually becomes entitlement. This is why many generous people end up feeling used, not because they're surrounded by bad people, but because they never taught others where the boundary was. Machiavelli understood this long before modern psychology existed. He believed that value increases when something isn't available all the time. Scarcity creates respect. If your time, your attention, and your generosity are available to everyone every day, people stop seeing them as gifts. They start seeing them as obligations. This doesn't mean you should stop helping people. It means your generosity should be intentional. Help people who appreciate your effort. Help people who would do the same for you. And remember, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you may be saying no to your own goals, your family, your health, or your future. The most respected people aren't the ones who say yes to everyone. They're the ones who know exactly who deserves their yes. Point number 3. Perception is power. Let's try a simple experiment. Imagine you walk into a room, and two people are already there. The first person is smiling at everyone. They agree with every opinion. They apologize even when they did nothing wrong. They never challenge anyone. The second person is also polite. They smile. They listen carefully. But when they disagree, they say it calmly. When someone crosses a line, they address it immediately. When they say yes, they mean it. And when they say no, they don't apologize for having standards. Now ask yourself, who would you naturally respect more? For most people, the answer is the second person. Not because they're mean, not because they're louder, but because they project confidence. Imagine a young executive named James. James is leading an important meeting at a New York investment firm. Halfway through the meeting, a senior executive interrupts him. You don't know what you're talking about. The room goes silent. Everyone waits to see what James will do. He could laugh it off. He could apologize. Or he could respond with calm confidence. James looks at the executive and says, I respect your opinion, but I'd like to finish my point. Then I'm happy to hear your perspective. No anger, no shouting, no ego, just confidence. The room changes instantly. People don't just hear his words, they notice his composure. That single moment earns him more respect than months of trying to please everyone. This is something Machiavelli understood better than almost anyone. He wrote, everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. Think about that. People don't have access to your intentions. They only see your actions. If you constantly act unsure of yourself, people assume you're unsure. If you constantly seek approval, people assume you need validation. But when you carry yourself with quiet confidence, others begin to see you differently. Your reputation isn't built by what you think about yourself. It's built by the signals you send every single day. This doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not. It means making sure your behavior reflects your true value. Speak with confidence. Keep your promises. Protect your boundaries. Stay calm under pressure. Because in the real world, perception shapes opportunity. People trust leaders who look like leaders. They follow people who believe in themselves first. So don't waste your energy trying to convince everyone that you're valuable. Live in a way that makes your value impossible to ignore. Point number 4. Every yes has a price. Imagine it's Monday morning. Alex opens his calendar. From 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., every hour is booked. Team meetings, client calls, helping coworkers, answering emails, doing favors. By the end of the day, he's exhausted. He drives home wondering, why do I feel like I'm working so hard but getting nowhere? The answer is simple. Alex has been busy, but he hasn't been productive. There's a huge difference. Many people believe that saying yes makes them a good friend, a good employee, or a good leader. But every single yes comes with a hidden cost, because time is limited, energy is limited, attention is limited. When you give those things away without thinking, you slowly steal them from yourself. Think about the world's most successful CEOs. People like Steve Jobs or Warren Buffett weren't known for saying yes to everything. In fact, Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." That's not selfish. That's focus. Now imagine two people. One spends every day solving everyone else's problems. The other protects their schedule and spends those same hours building a business, learning new skills, improving their health, or spending time with their family. Fast forward 5 years. Who do you think has grown more? Who has built a better life? Success isn't just about what you choose to do, it's also about what you choose not to do. That's why airlines give the same safety instruction before every flight. Put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. At first, that advice sounds selfish, but it's actually practical. Because if you lose consciousness, you can't help anyone else. Life works exactly the same way. If you're constantly exhausted, constantly overwhelmed, and constantly putting yourself last, eventually you'll have nothing left to give. Machiavelli believed that power begins with self-control, and one of the greatest forms of self-control is deciding where your time goes. Your calendar reflects your priorities shape your future. So before you automatically say yes to the next request, pause for a moment. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. Does this move my life forward? Is this worth my time and energy? Am I saying yes because I truly want to, or because I'm afraid to disappoint someone? Sometimes the most powerful word you'll ever say is a calm, respectful, confident no. Because every time you protect your time, you're protecting your future. Point number 5. Strategic kindness wins every time. Now here's the biggest misunderstanding about power. Many people think powerful people don't care about others. That's not true. The smartest people are often incredibly kind, but they're selectively kind. Imagine a successful entrepreneur named Daniel. Daniel owns a growing technology company in Austin, Texas. Every week he receives dozens of emails. People ask for free advice, free meetings, free introductions, free investments, free mentorship. If Daniel said yes to everyone, he would spend his entire life solving other people's problems. His own company would stop growing. His employees would suffer. His family would barely see him. So Daniel created one simple rule. He doesn't help everyone. He helps the people who are willing to help themselves. One day, 2 young entrepreneurs reach out to him. The first one sends a short message. "Can you tell me exactly how to build $1 million business?" That's it. No effort, no research, no preparation, just a request. The second entrepreneur sends something completely different. She writes, "I've spent the last 2 years building my company. I've already solved these 3 problems, but I'm struggling with one specific challenge. If you have 15 minutes, I'd really appreciate your advice." Daniel replies to the second person, not because she's more talented, but because she respected his time. She showed effort before asking for help. That's how successful people think. They don't measure people by who asks the loudest. They measure people by who values the opportunity. Machiavelli understood something that many people still ignore today. Kindness has the greatest impact when it's given with purpose. If you try to help everyone, eventually your help loses its meaning. But when your time and attention become valuable, people appreciate them far more. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming intentional. Before saying yes to anyone, ask yourself 3 questions. Will this actually make a positive difference? Does this person respect my time and effort? Am I helping because it's the right thing to do, or because I feel guilty saying no? Those 3 questions can completely change your life. Remember, your kindness is one of your greatest strengths. Don't give it away carelessly. Invest it wisely, because the people who truly deserve your help won't expect it. They'll appreciate it. And that's the difference between being used and being respected. Point number 6. Results matter more than good intentions. Let's end with one of the hardest truths you'll ever hear. The world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards results. Think about 2 leaders. The first leader wants everyone to like him. He avoids difficult conversations. He never holds people accountable. He says yes to every request. No one gets upset with him, at least for a while, but over time, the team becomes disorganized. Deadlines are missed, performance drops, the business starts falling apart. Now imagine a second leader. Her name is Emma. Emma is respectful. She listens carefully. She treats everyone with dignity. But when someone consistently underperforms, she has the difficult conversation. When a project isn't good enough, she asks for it to be done again. And when someone refuses to improve, she lets them go. Some people call her tough. Others even think she's unfair. But 1 year later, her team is stronger. Her company is growing. Her employees know exactly what's expected of them. And because of that, everyone benefits. Here's the lesson. Being kind doesn't mean avoiding hard decisions. Sometimes the kindest decision is also the hardest one. A parent who says no to a dangerous choice isn't being cruel. A coach who pushes an athlete beyond their comfort zone isn't being heartless. A surgeon who performs a painful operation isn't causing suffering for the sake of suffering. They're accepting short-term discomfort to create long-term success. That's the difference between emotional decisions and wise decisions. Machiavelli believed that leadership should ultimately be judged by outcomes, not by how many people applauded you in the moment, but by whether your decisions created stability, progress, and lasting success. This idea is often misunderstood. It does not mean that any action is acceptable if it produces results. It means that good intentions alone are not enough. If your kindness constantly leads to being taken advantage of, if your inability to say no keeps destroying your peace, if your fear of disappointing people prevents you from building the life you want, then it's time to change your strategy. Keep your compassion, keep your integrity, keep your humanity, but combine them with courage, with boundaries, and with wisdom. Because truly successful people don't choose between kindness and strength, they master both, and that's what earns lasting respect. Ending so. Let me leave you with one final question. What kind of person do you want to become? The person who spends their entire life trying to make everyone happy, only to lose themselves in the process? Or the person who is respected because they know exactly when to be kind and exactly when to stand their ground? Remember, kindness is not weakness, but kindness without boundaries can become self-destruction. You don't have to become cold. You don't have to manipulate people. And you definitely don't have to stop caring. Just stop giving your time, your energy, and your peace to people who never valued them in the first place. Because the people who truly respect you will also respect your boundaries. Machiavelli wasn't teaching people to become cruel. He was teaching them to survive, to lead, and to protect themselves in a world that doesn't always reward good intentions. So starting today, don't ask yourself, how can I make everyone like me? Ask yourself, how can I live in a way that earns genuine respect? Because respect lasts longer than approval, and wisdom will always take you further than blind kindness. If you found this video valuable, leave a comment below and tell me, what's one situation where saying no changed your life, or where you wish you had the courage to say it? I'd love to read your thoughts. If you enjoy content about psychology, power, human behavior, and timeless lessons from history, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.